Ah, Star Wars. Such a classic trilogy. So classic that even long after its original debut, countless and countless Star Wars games were made. During my childhood, my dad bought the Super Trilogy for the Super Nintendo. And boy do I not remember it, because I was still crapping myself. Regardless, there came a time in my childhood when I was able to function and not just cry, shit, and piss myself. And I started to play video games. I fondly remember the Super Star Wars Trilogy for the Super Nintendo, and among the countless Super Nintendo games I own, they definitely stand in my top 10. Even today at 19, I still slap these in and do a playthrough every now and again. But that's not to say these games are perfect, especially Super Star Wars A New Hope. No! Out of the 3 movie-based Star Wars games for the Super Nintendo, A New Hope is the only one that doesn't have a password system, so when you start this game, you better clear your schedule. The game follows the movie pretty well in the beginning cutscene, even though I don't know what the purpose for Luke is at this point or why he's wandering around in the Dune Sea. The first level is the Dune Sea. You're given a blaster as your starting weapon that you can power up by collecting gun icons in the level, and you'll need them. Playing through this, I can tell why Uncle Owen needed Luke around for another season. Tatooine is a fucking dangerous place. Only the most hardcore can survive here, and I mean that. Just look at this. Apparently, every animal in the Dune Sea wants Luke dead. I guess this is what you get for shooting womp rats with your T-16. Though, as you can see here, they really have no will to live. They just jump in front of your bullets. So at the end of the first level, you face the Sarlacc monster, and he's pretty easy. If you don't go all the way to the right, you can spend the whole fight outside of the sand pit. As you can see here, there's clearly more room for the screen to have moved. And that's what makes this fight easy, because you can just stand to the left and shoot him. So after killing birds, womp rats, worms, and the Sarlacc monster, you're ready to go to level 2. So let me just start out by saying, fuck. Now I know they didn't have much to work with for beginning levels, so I guess they took an alternate route. Luke doesn't buy R2-D2 and C-3PO, no. Instead, C-3PO has Luke go on a ballistic, murderous rampage and onslaught against the Jawas to get him back, as the second level involves you mowing down every Jawa in sight. Also womp rats. This is a fun level, however. As a kid, I remember being able to control the speeder much easier, but going to it now with the mindset of a modern gamer, I find myself helplessly confused. As a kid, I guess I didn't question much, because playing this level now, I have a lot of questions. Why can this speeder fucking fly? Like, look at this. Also, why can I move with no fuel, but I can't turn the vehicle around without fuel? Apparently gas is only used up when you move fast or turn, which is fucking annoying because it took me a while to figure out that you need to destroy innocent people's property to get more, or else you'll spend an eternity going straight and strafing. The level ends when Luke and C-3PO's lust for blood has been satisfied, and it leads you to level 3. Remember what I said. C-3PO has a lust for murder, and I guess buying R2-D2 is not an option, or at least not an option C-3PO wants to consider. So you get to the Sandcrawler and fucking shoot up the place, murdering hundreds of Jawas, as the Sandcrawler tries desperately to escape from you. This level has you trying to get to the top of the Sandcrawler in order to bust in through the top, because either these doors are Jawas only, or Luke wants to do a clean sweep of the Sandcrawler and make sure that he murders everyone. To get to the top of the Sandcrawler, you have to do some platforming. This can be done, but it's hard because if anything hits your character, it makes him slide like he's on ice. You think that when the developers played this level, they would be like, platforming sure is difficult, we shouldn't make jumping such a big part of the levels, but no, it is.
We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life.
You will fall a lot in this level, most likely. And when you do, you have to climb all the way back up. You'd think it would get a bit easier once you reach the top, and for the most part, you are right, but the top of the Sandcrawler is littered with giant fucking guns. It gets to the point where the amount on top of the Sandcrawler is actually laughable. This is the first level of the game that has enemies that don't move about everywhere. Unlike where in the first level enemies went fucking ape shit on you, the Jawas and guns in this level are a lot calmer enemies, and so this is essentially the first fair time for you to use your gun. Luckily, the controls are great for it. So great that it makes me wonder if the blaster marks on the sandcrawler that Obi-Wan mentions in the movie are actually from Luke. Because even those marks are far too accurate to be from a stormtrooper. So with the Jawa's last hope gone, Luke breaks into the sandcrawler, and this is the end of level 3. So you're inside the sandcrawler because either C-3PO wants everything dead, or Luke's mad because he ain't got no power converters.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
This is the level that ruins the game for me, which is sad because the game mechanics work well for this game as a whole. The picky jumps are annoying but tolerable, and the hitback from enemies is frustrating but doable. However, this level takes it way too far. The interior of the sandcrawler doesn't look like it serves much purpose outside of being an obstacle course of death. The floor wants you dead, the ceiling wants you dead, the gonk droids want you dead, and I think this one just wants to die.
Kill me!
Aside from everything that wants you dead, the game can just be plain unfair. Like, what the hell happened here? Speaking of things that are unfair, let's count the amount of times we get fucked in this situation. There's a lot of weird things about this level. Towards the end of it, this stuff is lava by the way, if you fall into the lava, the game randomly decides if you will die or not. It seems when I really don't need to live, the game saves me. But like here, during the boss fight, the game is like, bitch, you touched lava, and then death. Sometimes the game is just mocking you about it. And another thing, as you can see during this boss fight, the only humanly possible way to kill this thing is to let him hit you with his lava, because trust me, if you jump, you'll get knocked to the right. During this attempt at the boss fight, this is one of the rare times where that didn't happen. Luckily, when he hits you with his lava shot, you can sometimes walk to the right and then just repeat. But if you died on your first attempt, then that's it. It's nearly impossible to win. This gun doesn't do enough damage fast enough, so I'm fucked. So let me break this down for you. 9 times out of 10, if you jump, a lava spout will hit you into the lava and you'll die. The only way to ensure you don't get hit by that lava spout is by not jumping. But by not jumping, you have to get hit by his attacks. I'll go into more detail later, but from the checkpoint all the way to the boss fight, there's only one gun power-up, which is not powerful enough to allow you to stand here and take all his shots, so you have to beat him on the first try. The only gun power-up after the checkpoint is from this thing. The only other area of this level that has power-up for guns is this absurd secret area that can't be reached if you start at the checkpoint. That's great. Give the player one chance to beat this fucking level. It would have made more sense to have the secret area after the checkpoint, so you at least have a fair shot at winning. I've come to the conclusion that C-3PO wanted not only the Jawas dead, but you as well. I eventually plan on having kids and getting married in the future, so for those reasons I can't spend the rest of my life trying to beat this level, as I'd never be able to complete it. So let's play the next game in the series.